Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. This is the remaining season outlook for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had a very entertaining game last night between the Boston Celtics, the top two teams in the NBA Eastern Conference. And there's a lot to dissect from that game last night on both sides. So after I get done with covering the Cavaliers, I am going to do another segment with the Boston Celtics. So first off, let me start off with the team roster. First, we have Jared Allen, Imani Bates, Darius Garland, Ty Jerome, Karis LeVert, Sam Morrell, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, George's Knee Gang, Isaac Orcorio, Craig Porter Jr., Max Struss, Tristan Thompson, JT Thor, Luke Travers, Jalen Tyson, and Dean Wade. Now that's the lineup for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now let me go into last night. Last night, first off, what I'm going to do is, since they have the game here, I'm going to pull up the statistics from last night's game. So last night's game started off, you know, pretty well for the Cavaliers, and then they got into a hole where they didn't know they got into a shooting drought where about 3 4 minutes where they couldn't hit a shot. And like I've been saying throughout the season, the Cleveland Cavaliers, yeah, sure, they are gonna make the playoffs because they're 40-10. We know that they're gonna make the playoffs. But in the playoffs, you cannot have too many shooting droughts. And I'm gonna give you all the statistics when it comes to the players. So we know that Donovan Mitchell is the best player on the team. And everybody is balanced. You can see it right here. Donovan Mitchell, 23.8 points per game. Darius Garland, 21.8 points per game. Evan Mobley, his 18. Then you have Jared Allen with his 13.8. Ty Jerome, 11.2. Carius LeVert, 10, 10 and a half points, 10.5 points per game. And then the list just goes, the scoring starts dropping a little bit because George's knee game, he is gonna have to increase his scoring in the playoffs along with Max Struss, Sam Morrell, Dean Wade, Isaiah Orko, J, JT Thor, Jalen Tyson, and everybody. They are going to have to increase their level of play when it comes to the playoffs. So now, let me get back to last night's game. So last night's game, I'm going to give y'all a photogenic and a narration of what I saw last night. So the Cleveland Cavaliers against, first off, before I do that, the Cleveland Cavaliers against top teams this year. They played 11 top teams this year in the NBA. They are 5-6, so that's below average. And when they get to the playoffs, they are gonna be facing nothing but the same type of talent that they have. So when it's all said and done, when they play against top teams, they have a losing record. They have a lot of shooting droughts when it comes to playing these top 10, top 5 teams in the NBA. Cleveland Cavaliers, hey, they have a team that can make it to the finals. But when you look at the standings right now, and I looked at this last night, you see where last night's win for the Boston Celtics, and I'm going to cover the Boston Celtics in a little bit here. Last night's win for the Boston Celtics, they are back 4.5 games of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So this is what I was saying early in the season after the first 20, 25 games, and The Cavaliers had a 6, 7 game lead. I said, let's see what goes on after the All-Star break. Now, this is right before the All-Star break. The All-Star break happens in about another week and a half. So, yeah, the All-Star break happens in a little over a week. So now we are starting to see where the Boston Celtics, they are starting to turn up their, well, increase their level of play when it comes to defense and offense. And another thing I wanted to cover with the Cavaliers, when it comes to those shooting droughts mainly come beyond the 3-point line. And last night they was 28% from the 3-point line. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. In all of their losses, the 10 losses they've had, they have averaged 35% from the 3-point line in all of these losses. So the loss they had against Houston didn't have a great shooting night. The loss they had against Philadelphia didn't have a great shooting night. See, that is a that is an occurring trend. If they lose, they have a bad shooting night from the 3-point line. See, this is what the Boston Celtics had trouble with last season and the season before last. So that is why I say that the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are a good team, but I got to see how they will fare in the playoffs against a team like Boston or New York. Now, like I said, New York is not going to get very far in the playoffs. Neither will the Pacers. That's why I say in the Eastern Conference it is a two-team race. The Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. Let's see let's see what both of these teams can do, and I'm willing to bet that we see both of these teams in the Eastern Conference Finals in May. I'm willing to bet that because you cannot tell me that New York has a chance, Indiana has a chance, the Milwaukee Bucks have a chance at beating the Celtics or the Cavaliers in a 7 game series. You can't tell me that. So, my final thoughts for the Cleveland Cavaliers as far as a team concerned. Now, I already said earlier that they are going to make the playoffs. Now, let's get to their bench. They have one of the best benches in the NBA. They are top 10 in bench production. They average, hold on, they average 33 points a game off of the bench. This is the regular season. Just like I said, it's the regular season. Let's see how the bench production fares in the playoffs. And tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a game versus the Detroit Pistons. Now, everybody is sleeping on the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to go back. You see the Detroit Pistons are in the 6th spot. If the playoffs started today, the Detroit Pistons would make the playoffs. Like I said, I'm going to cover the Detroit Pistons a little bit later on this month. But from what I like what I'm seeing from the Detroit Pistons. Now, my final thoughts for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Tonight, let's see how they fare against a young up and coming team with the Detroit Pistons. Now, will they have a bad shooting night? If they have a bad shooting night, they going to lose because that has been the trend all season for them. And with that, that is my remaining season outlook for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Also, please like and follow Key City Sports on Instagram. Tomorrow, I will be doing a live Super Bowl prediction show on Instagram at 10 o'clock. So, everybody, please place your time slots for 10 o'clock in the morning if you are able to watch. And if you are not able to watch it, you will watch it on replay after you get off from work. So, one last thing I want to say, remember, the key is always on time.